admission in Delhi University Law Faculty, but as one of the leading aptitude test trainer and mentor in the country, someone who has been the president of a leading education company called GradeUp, now which is Byju's Prep, and also earlier who has served as in leadership position, teaching a large number of students at various institutions, including Career Launcher and Manya Abroad and Princeton Review. And in a way, not just LL.B entrance exams like CLAT and LSAT and Delhi University LL.B, but even for civil services aptitude test, the CSAT exam, for CAT and GMAT exam, for various exams, I will say Mr. Vijay Kalyan Jha, he himself has scored 99.97 percentile in CAT in previous years, and a habitual test taker who writes almost all important aptitude tests in the country as a hobby, and also to learn to teach his students, to teach students about these entrance exams when he's mentoring students for them. So it's a very, thank you so much, Vijay, for joining, and welcome to this very special webinar today. Why it's important for Jindal Global Law School, which I represent now as an associate professor and associate dean and director of law admissions, because since 2012 we have utilized Delhi University LL.B entrance test as one of the most important entrance exam for 3-year LL.B program admissions. And a good number of students who are mostly graduates from the leading colleges of Delhi University, some colleges like St. Stephen's College or Miranda House or Lady Shriram College or Hindu College, Hansraj College, Ramjas College, Kirorimal College, all the prestigious colleges of University of Delhi, and also from other institutions, they secure admission, of course, at Delhi Law Faculty, which they aim, but also at Jindal Global Law School in our 3-year LL.B program on the basis of this test. And the law school institutes scholarships ranging from 10% to 100% of tuition fee on the basis of entrance exam score. So if you secure ranks in, say, top 5% of test takers or top 10% of test takers, or even top 20% of test takers, there are assured scholarships if you decide to join Jindal Global Law School. And I must tell you, in last 11 years at JGLS, we have worked steadfastly on the 3-year LL.B program, and we have been extremely successful in building possibly the most rigorous, fully residential campus LL.B program in the country. And very, very few 3-year LL.B program will match the rigor and academic curriculum and the exposure which is imparted in the residential 3-year LL.B program at Jindal Global Law School. I will also like to add LL.B 3-year program, which has been the flagship law degree program in India, is regaining its importance, its significance, with very recently National Law School of India, University Bangalore, which primarily offered only 5-year law, decided to offer a 3-year LL.B this year in 22. And certainly that National Law School Bangalore LL.B 3-year program will also emerge as a strong 3-year LL.B option for the students like Jindal Global Law School or University of Delhi or IIT Kharagpur, or some traditional universities like Banaras Hindu University or Punjab University Chandigarh, or even I will say Government Law College Mumbai or ILS Law College Pune, who have been traditionally offering a strong 3-year LL.B program. And Delhi faculty, recently someone has posted in social media that 25% of Supreme Court sitting judges, including the incumbent Chief Justice, are graduates of Campus Law Center of University of Delhi Law Faculty. And suddenly I realized if we look at Delhi High Court, out of 40 judges, approximately 40 judges, 30 to 35 are from Delhi Law Faculty. And most of the high courts, be it the Punjab and Haryana High Court in Chandigarh, or be it the Jharkhand High Court in Ranchi, or even Patna High Court in Bihar, or most of the, I will say, the apex institutions in law and judiciary have Delhi University LL.B alumni occupying important positions. And at Jindal Global Law School, the founding Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. C. Rajkumar, is a Delhi University LL.B alumnus who has studied at Campus Law Center. And many faculty members like me, including some of our founding faculty members like Professor Deepika Jain and many others who have their first degree in law at Delhi University. So Delhi University remains the most important academic department of legal education in this country among all the central and state universities. And this entrance exam, which is the entry to Delhi University Law Faculty, is indeed the most important entrance exam for three-year LL.B aspirants. I had written a book when I was a student of LL.B and a resident in Mansarovar Hostel in North Campus of Delhi University. That book now runs in 27th edition and almost is called SS Guide or Singles Guide for LL.B entrance, a very popular book. After, I graduated and left, it's now a 1,500-page guidebook. A lot of students study with that book for their preparation. I don't know how much they find the questions in their exam, but today we have an expert in Mr. Vijay Kalyan Jha, who will actually, in a way, announce or I will say, predict the cutoffs, who will almost, it's 100 question now, and possibly he is ready with more than 60 questions which were asked in the exam based on his memory. And I'm sure it's going to be a great occasion to learn from Mr. Vijay Jha, and particularly for those students who took the exam today. So those 15,000 plus students who took the LL.B entrance test today, I'm sure it's going to be a great session. This session is also being casted on the YouTube and Facebook accounts of our law school and university. Please feel free to ask questions. Please feel free to ask questions from the panelists, Mr. Vijay Kalyan Jha and me. So over to you, Vijay, and thank you so much for joining.
Oh, come on. Thanks for giving this opportunity to me to speak with the candidates, and thanks for the kind words also. So I'm not an expert as such. As Anand rightly said, that this is my passion to appear for different competitive examinations wherever there is no age limit. So people like Anand and Vijay are in their 40s now, right? So in fact, today also at the center, I was just 5 minutes late. So everyone was very suspicious that what this guy is doing here. Okay. And in fact, they were allowing others, but they were looking at me very suspiciously that why does he want to go? But anyway, here my first impression of the test is, and in fact, this is something which I was discussing with Anand also a while back. It was deceptively easy. Okay, there were many questions that were quite tricky. Please keep that in mind. If I compare this with DU LL.B entrance 2021, that is the last edition of the examination, I found it to be slightly tougher, and I firmly believe that the cutoffs will go slightly lower this year. And all those people who came out of the examination hall thinking that you're going to get 350, 360. So my first impression is, and it's not a first impression, a very mature impression is that in order to get into any of the campuses of Faculty of Law, University of Delhi this year on the basis of this examination, I believe 230, 240 is going to be a very good score, regardless of your category. If you score something like 230, 240, you are definitely there. Take my word, hold me accountable. if that does not happen. All right. And many of your friends will tell you that no, they are going to score 320, 330. Okay. Ask them to speak with you once the results are out. Not now. Just wait for 5 to 6 days. All right. In fact, very unlike what University of Delhi mostly does, I found a good number of tricky questions. I'll give you one example. Like there is this one book about which they asked that who is the author of this book. This book is on Sardar Patel. This book was written by Rajmohan Gandhi. All the options had a Gandhi in it. Similarly, I'm sure anything that is related with Pakistan, I'm sure many of you are awaiting the match on 23rd. Okay. So Kulbhushan Jadhav case, all of you would remember, right? And in fact, one of the questions was that who stalled the hanging of Kulbhushan Jadhav in Pakistan? One of the options was International Criminal Court. And then one of the options was ICJ, International Court of Justice. Mostly University of Delhi in its entrance examinations would not do it, right? So many students got confused because of such options. So I believe that this test was slightly tougher than how it was last year. 230, 240 will certainly ensure your admission in any of the campuses. And yes, Anand was talking about his book also. I've seen the book. From that book, you still get a good number of questions in the examination. Absolutely, no doubt about that. Okay. And Anand admits very candidly and openly that there are many of his students who actually help him edit the book every year. Right.
Very true.
So, let me try to predict how much would the topper get, though I'm sure that it does not concern many of you, but the last year topper had got 351. I believe the topper score should also come down slightly, maybe by 15, 20 marks this year. So I will very quickly take you through a presentation, and then I'm sure Anand would have some questions for me. I will have some questions for Anand too, and would expect all of you to enjoy the conversation. And I'm very thankful to Ravi, who is managing this entire show. He's our tech person. I'm sure he has given me this permission to present. All right.
Rahul is the IT person, and he will enable you to make your presentation. But I must tell you, this
already done, sir.
This is going to be a great fun. The students have taken the test today, and they are going to get an analysis today itself. And he will enable you to make your presentation.
Rahul, I'm somehow not able to share my PPT.
Hello? Yes, sir. Hello?
Hi, Rahul.
Yes, sir.
So I'm somehow not able to share my PPT, my deck.
ऑलरेडी आप होस्ट बना रखा सर, एक बार चेक करिए सर.
Just a sec.
So let's keep trying, sharing the PPT, but we can go ahead with, say, a few questions. Because once you are a host, I think you can share the presentation.
Anand, please keep taking questions on my behalf. Share those questions with me. Happy to answer. Ask as many as possible.
So,
it appears no questions for me.
No, I mean, I was waiting for your presentation, but the most important question is, of course, 100 question is like now the paper is. In our time, it used to be 175 questions and 4 marks each and 700 marks exam. Now it has been at 400 marks exam. So the one thing I would like to know, for a candidate to be selected in Delhi University LLB this year,
Mhm.
Out of 100 questions, because there is a negative marking component also,
Of course.
how many questions students who have done right are going to secure admission?
I believe even if people attempt close to 70 questions and get 7 or 8 of them incorrect, they're quite safe. They're pretty safe. Because attempting 70 questions and let's say someone gets 60 correct and 10 incorrect, that would mean a score of 240 or rather 230, and that is good enough. That is good enough. So an attempt of a serious attempt of 70 in all senses, rather than making wild guesses, should be good enough. And there are many questions that are quite simple also. And in fact, reasoning was quite simple. Many questions on English were also quite simple, though the passage appeared to be difficult. But when you look at the questions, right, the questions are simple. So the passage was difficult, but the questions based on the passage were quite simple. All 5 of them, or at least 4 of them, were quite simple. All right. So reasoning was also very simple. General knowledge, you didn't have many questions from current affairs. So those people who are from current affairs, who are weak at current affairs, must have celebrated this fact. All right. But like in 2020 or in 2021, there were a good number of questions, almost 33, 34 questions were on legal awareness. When I talk about legal awareness, it means meaning of certain Latin terms. It certainly means a good number of cases, your awareness of some very important cases. Okay. So all that was there. This year also more than 30 questions were on legal awareness. On constitution also, we had close to 15 questions. So legal awareness and constitution put together. Of course, this statement has an assumption that legal awareness excludes Constitution of India. Right. So legal awareness and constitution put together, you had almost half the paper. You had almost 50 papers, 50 questions. That is how it was this year. An attempt of 70, sincere attempt of 70 is good enough to get into even campus law center University of Delhi with high rate of accuracy. And if your rate of accuracy is slightly lower, then maybe 75 attempts.
So you are now able to share your screen. I'm informed by IT.
Mhm.
So you please try. This is, you can share the PPT which you have made. But otherwise, we can always discuss the questions one by one.
Oh, of course, of course, of course. I believe there is some.
And if it is not working, let us go ahead.
Yes, yes, yes. I can even read the questions, right?
Yes, that's a great idea. We can.
Yeah. Let me just read the questions, because I have been able to compile almost 70 questions. And I believe that if students come to know about these questions, right, they can at least check their scores. So, all right, let me try just once more. And if this time it does not work, then I will start reading the questions.
So even you can email the PPT to me and Ravi.
Yeah, doing that right away. I've already emailed the
sure the
PPT.
IT person himself.
That, Anand,
Yes.
that is already on your WhatsApp.
Okay.
This is already on your WhatsApp. So start sharing the PPT and then I will give the presentation.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. But only that this idea occurred, we are late for this idea by 2 minutes probably. But yeah. I shared the PPT with you at around 6:30.
Yes, yes. I have to transfer it to my mail, and I'm just trying to do that.
All right.
So please go ahead with reading. I mean, just discussing the question.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
setting it
yeah.
up.
Yeah. So are we getting questions from students? Rahul,
Not
Ravi,
yet,
are
not
we
yet.
getting questions?
They are waiting
Okay.
for your analysis.
All right, all right. So, and in fact, this time they included some very good cases. So let me try some questions on you. Like one of the questions, when I say you, of course, not Anand, right? He has been doing all this for almost 2 decades now, of course. So that is for the viewers. So there was a question that adultery, all of us, we know that section 497 of the Indian Penal Code was struck down. So, and then this had happened a while back. So all of a sudden, they asked you that which case was it? All right. So mostly people prepare for current affairs for the last 6 to 8 months. So many students were caught completely unprepared for the cases which had taken place 3 years back, 4 years back. All right. So this is just one example. So they asked about.
I think we should always, we should be knowing that the landmark cases, something like Nas Foundation judgment, or, the judgments which are landmark, they are important always. So they do not come in the latest cases category, but they are actually cases so important in the history of law and judiciary that every law aspirant is expected to know that from law entrance exam point of view.
They actually asked about.
Though frankly speaking, I'm not a supporter of this. Yeah. So cases like Keshwananda Bharti or Golaknath, or say the Indira Gandhi versus Rajnarayan case, or say Sarla Mudgal case, or other constitutional cases. So they are of importance forever. So your PPT is now in place. You can please go ahead. I think
Raj,
students
make it
can
full
view
screen.
this.
And Raj, you will have to keep changing it also. So, all right, come to the next slide. The moment I say next, come to the next slide. So, of course, I've appeared for this entrance examination on not less than 15 occasions. So I make University of Delhi rich every year. Okay, whenever I get an opportunity. So I'm giving you my rank of year 2018 and 19. In 2018, I got AIR 15. In 2019, I got AIR 21. Now, next, Rahul. And as Anand rightly said that around 15,000 people take the test. So this year, I also believe that some 17,000, 18,000 people would have taken the test, because last year, the exact number was 16,800. Next. And please take a screenshot of this, because this gives you the number of seats. So this is how the number of seats are. As you can make out that in general category, in each one of the colleges, be it Campus Law Center, LC1 or LC2, you have 390 seats in general category. And similarly, you have the distribution of the seats for the other categories as well. But overall, you have almost 3,000 seats. That's a lot, right? So almost every 5th person or 6th person who appears for the test gets a seat. So that way, it's not a very difficult entrance test also. Ravi, next. Okay, this is the structure of the test. I'm sure it's very well known to you. The total number of questions, 100, then total time, 2 hours, maximum marks, 400. That is marking pattern of +4 -1. If you get your answer right, you get +4. If you do not get it right, then you get -1. If you leave a question unattempted, absolutely nothing happens. All right, next. Okay, so this is how the paper was in 2021. All right. So I should be able to, once we get all 100 questions, we should be able to give you the distribution for this year also. But yeah, this year also, it was not very different. Of course, from current affairs, you didn't have more than 5 questions. That was probably the only major difference this year. Next, Rahul. Now, please take a screenshot of this. This is probably the most important slide for you. And when we began our conversation, I mean, Anand and I I made a statement that if you get something like 230, 240, you're good enough to get into even campus law center this year, right? So this is the basis. I believe that rank 1 is going to score around 340. Rank 50 is going to score around 287. I've done some calculation that how I calculated that, that's a trade secret. All right. So rank 100 is 276, should be around 276. Rank 150 is around 270, and rank 150 is very important for you. Keeping this in mind that close to 15,000 people appear for the test, and Jindal Global Law School gives some very good scholarship for those people who are in top 1% of all the test takers. Okay, and mind you, 1% of 15,000 would be 150. Okay, so if you get into top 150, Jindal Global Law School gives you very good amount of scholarship. Please do not forget, and which is why I have put rank 150 also here. All right, so if you score around 270, there's a good chance that you're going to get some good scholarship from Jindal Global Law School. All right, similarly at rank 500, in general, even if you're in general category and you get rank 500, straight away you would get into a campus law center. Absolutely no doubt about that. And I believe, and hold me accountable for this once the results are out, that at a score of around 250, your rank should be around 500. At a score of around 235, your rank should be around 1,000, plus minus 5%. Okay, plus minus 5%. So please take a screenshot. This is how it should be. And this gives a very good idea to Anand also, that at what score he's going to offer you scholarships. All right. Okay. Ravi, next. Okay, so a few of these things I have already discussed with you, that DU LL.B 2022 entrance was slightly tougher in comparison with the 20211. All right, or I would say that this was very slightly easier than the 2019 edition of the examination. Not many questions on current affairs. In fact, even those questions which were supposedly from current affairs were not necessarily from the last 5 to 6 months. That made those questions slightly difficult. Okay, and again, good number of questions, almost 7-8 questions based on cases, but those cases were also, as we shall see subsequently, right, not very decent. Okay, and in fact, Anand talked about NAS Foundation. So that NAS Foundation case reminds me of something similar. Supreme Court's judgment on the third gender. Okay, that transgender should be accepted as the third gender. That decision, I believe, had come almost five years back, but that appeared in the test. Of course, needless to say, it was a very progressive and important decision. Reasoning part was very easy. There were 7 to 8 questions on series and direction sense or relationships. Okay, but all those questions were very, very doable. So even those people who believe that they're not good at reasoning, first of all, if you aim to do LL.B or you want to do anything in law, you should be very good at reasoning skills. So first of all, tell yourself that you're good at it. Okay. So even those people who somehow assume that they're not good at reasoning, these questions were certainly doable for them. Rahul, next. All right. Now, I will very quickly take you through all these 65, 70 questions, which I've been able to do for you. The question was, one of the questions was, Patel, A Life is a book, which was written by, the answer is Rajmohan Gandhi. And all the options had Gandhi surname. Similarly, a constructive parliamentarian. Of course, we all know that this book was written by Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And since Anand was talking about Delhi High Court, so they asked a trivia. The first Chief Justice of Delhi High Court. Of course, I was not able to do it. I might sound very knowledgeable here because I've seen the answers now. All right, but I was not able to do this question. The first Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Justice K.S. Hegde. Then they asked you the definition of blue carbon captured by ocean and coastal ecosystem. I'm sure many of you would have been able to guess. Who was never the Vice President of India? I believe that this is a very tricky question. Okay, on a show like KBC, it might earn you 1 crore or 2. Okay, they didn't ask you, and what might have been the inspiration of this behind this idea? They asking you a question on Vice President. because we got our 14th vice president this year, right? So who was never the vice president of India? They had given you 4 options. Answer is Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed. Okay, one of the Hindi movies made some fun of this name. I'm sure you're all aware. Similarly, one question was on NABARD. All right, then another tricky question. One of the statements in one of the questions was that Mahatma Gandhi was in New Delhi along with Jawaharlal Nehru to celebrate 15th August 1947. We all know that Mahatma Gandhi was not in Delhi. He was actually in West Bengal. All right, so that was an incorrect statement. Similarly, so they tried to put some trick in many questions. Similarly, one of the statements was that that Iraqi girl, Nadia Murad was the youngest Nobel laureate. Nadia Murad is not the youngest Nobel laureate, right? It is that lady from Pakistan, Malala Yousafzai. Okay, so even that was an incorrect statement. Baglihar Dam is on Chenab River, we all know. Similarly, they asked a question that on which date did Ukraine and Russia war begin? And the options were all in February, February 24, February 26, February 27, February 28. I was sure about this, that it was February. I was trying to recall that had come from Shimla and on that very day it had begun. Unfortunately, I was not able to recall and I got it wrong. Next. Okay, questions on Indian Constitution. The heart and soul of Indian Constitution, of course, is a sitter. I'm sure everyone would have done it, Article 32. Similarly, another question who is not appointed by the president, we all know, Speaker of the Lok Sabha. They asked you economically weaker section, EWS, was brought in by which amendment? It was 103rd. Which schedule gives the total number of seats in Rajya Sabha? That is 4th schedule, of course. Which schedule has union territories mentioned in them? This was quite tricky because the options were 1st and 6th, 1st and 7th, only 1st and something like this. Of course, the answer is only 1st. Similarly, GST was covered under which constitutional amendment? And the answer is 101st. All right. Then one needs to be produced in front of a magistrate within 24 hours, excluding the time in travel. Okay, so I think many of these questions were quite simple, but at the same time, there were 2 or 3 questions that you see on your screen that were slightly tricky. Residential ordinance needs to be ratified within 6 weeks when the session, okay, is on. Which word is not mentioned in Article 16 of the Indian Constitution? I found this to be slightly tricky. Okay, the answer is origin. I got it right. Then you had one question on Articles 24, 29, 2, 31, and 23. This was match the columns type. All right, so this gives you some very good idea about the type of questions that appeared from the Indian Constitution. Rahul, next. Questions on English. Meaning of pyrophobia. Phobia will certainly be fear, so pyrophobia is, oh, come on, in cricket also we talk about pyrotechnics. Right, when someone starts playing the way probably Virat Kohli does, right? Not Virat Kohli. These days, probably a better example would be Surya Kumar Yadav. All right, so pyro is for fire. So meaning of pyrophobia, morbid fear of fire. Similarly, antonym of conducive, I'm sure everyone would have got it right, unfavorable. There was one tricky question. Meaning of nephology, study of clouds. Nephology, meaning of nephology, which is study of clouds. But here the options made the question quite simple. In the reading comprehension passage, one of the questions was meaning of a priori. In the given context, the answer would be deductive. I believe this was slightly tricky. Okay. Similarly, meaning of primogeniture was also asked. This also, I believe if you do not know, it would be slightly difficult for you to guess the answer. And the answer is the eldest son inheriting, the inheritance belonging to the eldest son. That is the answer of primogeniture. Rahul, next. All right, the cases which were covered. Adultery was struck off, of course, in Joseph Shine case. Similarly, recognition of the third gender, as I told you. NLSA versus Union of India, Shreya single case. This also is not a very recent case. All right. So in this case, section 66A of Information Technology Act 2000 was struck down. Then right to sleep as a fundamental right. Are you aware? Are you aware? Right to sleep as a fundamental right. This was interpreted by the Supreme Court of India in the famous Ramlila Maidan versus Home Secretary of Union of India case. Okay, basic structure doctrine, Keswanand Bharti case, we all know. Okay, so next, Rahul, the moment I read the last question, you change it. Now questions are legal awareness. One of the questions was that what exactly is an auction? Is it an offer? No, it's invitation to offer. Then the second question on your screen is quite tricky, that who had drafted the Indian Evidence Act in 1872? Okay, the answer is James Stephen. Okay, at least to someone like me, this question was quite tricky. I was not able to get it right. Another tricky question was that International Court of Justice judges are elected by. I unfortunately marked only the General Assembly. The answer is General Assembly and the Security Council. All right. Then one question was pigeonhole theory of torts. Salmon, this was doable. Okay. Opinio juris sive necessitatis. I'm not sure if I'm able to pronounce it right. Okay. So the meaning of this particular thing was asked, and you can see the answer that is done under legal obligation. Similarly, the meaning of rebus sic stantibus was also asked. All right. And then another one simple question, that Hindu Marriage Act does not allow you to go for the second marriage when your spouse is alive, right? Now, one question was on Prohibition of Child Marriage Amendment Act 2021. So of course, the proposal is at this stage, the age of marriage for girls is 18. This amendment bill proposes that should be made 21. Okay, this was asked. Similarly, Competition Act replaced, we all know, MRTP. So quite simple. Offense of second marriage for a Hindu is bigamy, we all know. That is well defined in IPC also. Then one question was that one owner of a house dies, and there's just one servant there in the house. Now he takes away the watch. Okay, what exactly would it be? In my opinion, it would be misappropriation of property. So this was slightly tricky because one of the options was theft. Similarly, another option was breach of trust, misappropriation of property. So it appears that DU worked on the options for at least 20-25 questions of this examination. So this, I believe, was a tricky question, and I believe that the answer is misappropriation of property. Similarly, in one question, someone gets married under Special Marriage Act 1954. But anyway, the question had absolutely nothing to do with the Special Marriage Act. Okay, and then she disappears. Okay, so which writ would this person go for? Then this is quite simple. Similarly, another simple question is a wagering contract. We all know a wagering contract is void. Okay. Then one question was that there is a person who gets a will and he tampers with it. All right. So which case would it be? Of course, it would be forgery. Similarly, one question was on anti-defection law, which is there in Schedule 10 of the Indian Constitution. I believe that this was brought in during Rajiv Gandhi's prime ministership, right? So of course, if you're an independent candidate, anti-defection law would not do anything to you. Then there were many questions as reasoning. I put a few of them. Here in this question, the answer was P. I do not know if that is, would you do one thing? Here, can you change the layout, Rahul? Can you put our windows at the top so that the answers are also visible? If you're listening to me, Rahul or Ravi? No, the right-hand panel, where panelists are visible, can we put that at the top? Can we change the layout?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, we can't do it because it's a full screen visibility.
Okay. All right. Okay. So get back to the full screen. So answer to the first question is P. Similarly, there was many questions based on code. So PRAISE, the right answer was KIZRHB. You can match your answers. For danger, it was CBMHDS. Double income in December, the answer was 2/13. Which day is 1st January 2014? The answer was Wednesday. There was one question which was on blood relationship and it mentioned daughter-in-law and whatever. Here the answer was daughter. Next, Ravi. Now I put miscellaneous questions here. Okay, well, one of the questions was that which country hosted G7 meet this year? Of course, the answer is Germany. The Indian Constitution did not come into force on November 26, 1949. There was one question based on assertion and reasoning. So A was correct, but reasoning was incorrect. First of all, reasoning as a statement was incorrect because it had said that Constitution of India came into force on November 26, 1949. So I'm sure all of you are wise enough to get it right. Then in one of the questions, they asked you the definition of honorary position. Okay, so of course, you're not given any salary there. Impeachment of the president can be initiated in either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, anywhere. Okay, this question was also there. Then one good question was, do you think that governor has this power to pardon? Yes, he has. And I believe that the inspiration of this question came from what happened in Tamil Nadu. There was this person who had been in jail in Rajiv Gandhi assassination case for more than 30 years. And in fact, the cabinet of Tamil Nadu wanted him to be freed. And the bill had been lying with the governor of Tamil Nadu for quite some time. So what the Supreme Court did this year, that under Article 142, they freed this person. I believe this question took its inspiration from this current affair. And it would ask if governor has this power to pardon. Article was not asked, don't you worry. So of course, governor has the power to pardon. Okay. Then one question was on match the columns. And on the left-hand side, you have Chipko movement, carbon credit, father of ecology in India, etc. I knew just two. Chipko movement was initiated by Sundarlal Bahuguna, was started by Sundarlal Bahuguna, right? And I, of course, knew about carbon credit because the provision came from Kyoto Protocol. So I was able to answer. And in fact, even if you just knew about Sundarlal Bahuguna, you could answer the question. All right. Then you had one question on definition of theft, extortion, cheating, and criminal misappropriation. So this also could have been done. And mind you, they had defined criminal misappropriation. And then you had a question on criminal misappropriation. Okay, so I do not know. I mean, probably I wouldn't have said a question like that. Then one simple question is that executive power of the Union of India is vested in, of course, the president, right? An example of trespass, someone walks into someone's property, okay, without his permission. Then one good question was that they had given you 4 names and you have to select that which 2 of these 4, and not only these 2, of course, got Major Dhyan Chand Award in 2021. I'm sure all of you are aware of this, that Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award has become Major Dhyan Chand Award now. All right, so the answer is Mithali Raj and Suril Chetri. I got it wrong. I marked Mithali Raj and I do not remember who was the other person I marked as my answer. Another very good question was, in fact, this paper was more than about who did what, who didn't do what. Okay, who is not a member of what. Which of the following countries is not a member of NATO? I believe I got it wrong. I do not believe the fourth, I do not remember the 4th option. The options, 3 options were Croatia, Luxembourg, and Canada. These 3 are certainly member countries, right? Then one of the questions was on definition of certain articles, 3 or 4 articles were given, right? Then one very good question was on that which Indian airport has DARE, Disabled Aircraft Recovery Equipment, DARE system. So the first airport in India rather than Asia to come with this was Bangalore. I didn't know the answer, but I guessed it and I got it right. Similarly, another very tricky question was, and in fact, they had made a statement, certain statements about India, that Bharat Ratna is not given to foreigners. That is incorrect. Of course, there have been 2 foreigners who were honored with Bharat Ratna. Okay, Frontier Gandhi, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, okay, and who was from Pakistan, and Madiba, I'm sure you know Madiba, Nelson Mandela. So these 2, at least these 2 have been 2 foreigners who were given Bharat Ratna. Okay, so I've discussed almost 65 questions with you. I'm sure many of you would have taken screenshots or This video anyway would be available on YouTube, so you can revisit these questions. All right. Okay, now questions for me. I'm done from my side, and I reiterate that 230, 240 should prove to be a very good score for getting into even campus law center, University of Delhi this year. Okay. And any score which is above 270, 280 is very, very, very good. Don't you worry. Okay. And do not get disturbed when many people tell you that they're going to get 330 and 340. That wouldn't happen. Okay. Yes. Ready for questions now with an open house?
Yes, what an amazing analysis.
Oh, come on.
That reminded me of all those, old times when even I had prepared for this exam and, taking this exam. So many fond memories. I had analyzed almost each and every question asked in BU LL.B. The only thing I feel is it's time to even improve our entrance exams. We should move from rote learning based questions. I mean, those which cramming of facts and information, to more aptitude based questions, more reasoning and logic should be brought to aptitude test or admission test exams for law schools. If you look at the international law school tests like LSAT or LNAT, it's a purely test of reasoning and reading skills and comprehension skills. Unlike us, where there is a lot of focus on knowledge and, cramming of fact and rote learning. So anyway, it was a pleasant experience, hearing your analysis. Now, from my side, we have another 10 minutes left. And if there are questions on YouTube, I'd like to take them up. But more importantly, I will make the announcement that there are 4 types of scholarships based on entrance exam scores in Jindal. If your annual parental income is less than 30 lakh rupees. So only those students whose annual parental income is less than 30 lakh, they are eligible to receive scholarships. And scholarships are 10% of tuition fee, 25% of tuition fee, 50% of tuition fee, and 100% of tuition fee. And as you told, the students who are in top 1% of test takers, they are 99 percentile, because we follow the percentile system of LSAT, and the top percentilers, because our scholarship policy follow percentile system, we put entire DU result in a percentile format. So, for example, if 15,000 students take the exam, rank 1 to rank 150 becomes top 1% of test taker or 99 percentile candidates. So the top 3 of them may get even 100% tuition fee scholarship. And they may leave Delhi University or campus law center option, where they might study, for free or at a very less fee. But at Jindal, they only have to bear the cost of residence and food and laundry, and tuition fees waived. So we have scholarships in our policy for 99 percentile or above. Those who are above 95 percentile, those are the top 5% of test taker, most likely they will get 50% tuition fee, that is 3 lakh rupees per year in a scholarship. And similarly, those who are in, say, top 10 percentile of candidates, those who are in among, say, top 1500 rank, 25% of tuition fee, 1.5 lakh per year is given as a scholarship for all 3 years. And then, of course, 80 percentile above, every student will receive a 10% tuition fee in a scholarship. So that means even if you have rank up to 3,000 or 3,500, you will be receiving a scholarships. And otherwise, students above 60 percentile, we usually offer admission. And so if 15,000 students taking the exam, those who are, say, in the top 40% of test takers, they can apply and secure admission offer and complete the formalities. on first come, first served basis till the seats are available. So we have approximately 40 seats available in our 3-year LL.B program because all the other seats are filled through our LSAT and JSAT exams. Because DU entrance exam has been delayed, every year we receive some 40-50 students through this test. So those 40 seats remain, and for them there is an exclusive batch, exclusive class, which will start on 1st of November after the results are declared. I'm hoping the results should come within 1 week time, because you are the right person to tell me about it. Our expectation is usually the National Testing Agency announces results within 1 week time. So
That's right.
what is your guess in this regard? Because previous years also, I feel it's the same thing.
First of all, they will release the answer key and they will give an opportunity to students to challenge those answers. That process will take 4 to 5 days. And then again, after 2 days, they will declare the final result. And when it comes to entrance examinations based on rote learning or checking your aptitude, as you rightly said, like the paper that I appeared for today was more or less based on rote learning. Okay, so we must talk about 2 examinations which have done some real good work. Like there is this entrance examination for NLU Delhi, ALET. ALET changed its structure this time, and 80% of the questions, 120 out of 150 questions are based on aptitude. You do not require any knowledge for that. Okay.
So there is an interesting question for you on YouTube. A student, Sanjana Diwan, has asked, sir, was your exam center at Mother Teresa?
It was Sanjana. Hi. But don't you worry,
So
I'm not
amazing.
competing with you.
She recognized you because she might took the test at your center, because there are actually maybe some 50 or 100 centers in Delhi.
That's
and
right.
What a coincidence that she's attending the session and met you in the morning in examination hall.
Hi, Sanjana. All the best. How did you do in the examination?
So I think students have got the session well, and they will also watch it later, because there are questions. You have given almost 60% of the paper. You have announced even before NTA has uploaded the examination question paper for the general public. So I truly appreciate your memory and your passion with which you take the test. And I think the students will do well. And I also look forward to welcome them, some of them, to Jindal Global Law School. In past, there have been some extremely bright students who have decided to left the DU option to join Jindal, to study at Jindal. And many such students are in my knowledge. Some of them have done really well later. One became an INLAX scholar and went to Oxford University to do his PCL, which is the LL.B degree, and now a DPhil candidate and also teaching in Pembroke College at Oxford. So he came to me in 2016 with a DU LL.B entrance score rank of 16. And then I had some graduates. There was one who became a Commonwealth scholar in Cambridge. And now he is working as a lawyer in London. He has set up his own boutique law firm. A graduate of Hindu College in Delhi University, and then came to Jindal for LL.B. There have been a lot of graduates from, Chennai, from Loyola College, Madras, from Stella Maris, from Madras Christian College, from Bombay, from St. Xavier's and Jai Hind and Mitibai and other colleges, and almost every leading college of DU who take DU LL.B exam, and many of them even come to study at our law school. So there are a few more questions which are coming up. Let me go to them. And I think if it is for you, we will certainly, I think there is something in chat. EWS cutoff.
Yes, I believe.
So EWS category is
and there was a question on EWS category in the examination today.
Okay, so, very interesting. So,
yes. So 103rd constitutional amendment, I believe I got it right. Okay, so yes, Rishiraj, first of all the best for the results. And I believe that if in EWS category, if someone is scoring around two, though EWS category is quite tricky, on many occasions, there's hardly any difference between the cutoff of the EWS category and the general category, right? So for general
Exactly. My
category,
feeling was the same. There may not be much difference.
yes, yes, true. 225, 230 marks, 225 to 230 marks.
So I'm actually surprised to see the way the exam has completely changed. And it has actually become easier vis-a-vis what it used to be, because 175 questions in 2 hours was most of the time unmanageable to handle. And I think majority of students were not able to answer the full paper.
Yes.
Now here, when the same time, 2 hours, you have 100 questions to answer. Every student can answer each and every question.
Of course.
They have enough time. Maybe I feel you might left the exam hall 30 minutes early. You might finish it in 1 hour itself.
Easily.
So in old times, I think it was impossible. Even very few people. I remember myself, I got ranked 33 in general merit category and 15th in campus law center. And I could solve only 155 to 160 questions. I was not able to solve 15 questions due to paucity of time.
But that's
and I always thought if I could have
160 in 2 hours is quite good, Anand.
Yes, so those, I mean, we're young people preparing for the exam with the full zeal, and it's a entrance exam preparation. And also, I will say, a very passionate activity. I still remember for 1 month, I prepared almost eight or 9 hours a day. I studied for the PU LL.B entrance exam. And that 1 month preparation actually paid me very well, because I got a good rank, I got hostel seat, and I got so passionate about the study of law that it has become alive in a way. So thank you so much for this, your insights, your valuable time, and so much support to the young law aspirants who are aspiring to join 3-year LL.B program at Delhi University. And I think our time is up. So maybe we will meet again sometime with the LL.B aspirants in Delhi or in virtual mode.
We'll look forward. And thanks for giving this opportunity, Anand, and all the best to all the viewers. Do well. Thank you.
Yeah, all the best for the results, and have a great evening ahead. Thank you.
All right. See you. Bye.